Okay, here we are, episode 6 of the CHC podcast, and we're back. We are with David Ames. So, first off, our first like and share competition. We've got a GB top and a GB shorts. Now, what size are they? Would Les fit into them?
Les might actually fit into it.
Les will fit into
He'll
them.
not fit into the top, but he'll definitely fit into the shorts.
So, like and share competition on Facebook. We'll pick a winner. I'll be going to a good home.
Good home.
So, the last time I spoke to you, you were heading off to Tokyo for the Olympics, and the next plan was then Eindhoven. So,
Yeah.
Eindhoven at the moment, how's things going?
Going pretty well. Pretty quick 12 weeks. Finishing Tokyo, 2 weeks off, came back home, and then drove over to Eindhoven for the season, or first half of the season.
Yeah.
12 weeks of pretty intense.
You weren't.
hockey.
You 2 weeks after the Olympics. Was that you into pre-season, or were you already into a bit of?
They were into about a month, I think, of pre-season.
Yeah.
And then I drove over on the Monday, and then thrown into the deep end on the Tuesday, having not done anything for it.
Yeah.
And it was just a pretty intense few days, weeks trying to settle in, meet new people, new accommodation, like just the whole new environment and everything. So trying to just try and get settled in with everyone and how everyone's shaping, and then trying to play games and trying to get back up to speed and see what way they play, and I think get straight into the league season. So it's literally just been non-stop.
Right. You say up to the speed. It seems like a different level out there. League games.
I know it is. It's funny because they always say like after an Olympic year, all the internationals basically want to go and play in it. So it's like a year. A lot of the nations do like a year of grace. So like the year after Olympics is not too heavy for people. So you get all the Aussies have come over, and then you just try and clubs try and see who's available and who wants to go and play for a season. So this season there's so many internationals there. So
because even the GB girls, pile of them went over, pile of GB men went over.
Yeah.
As that one usually is after the year, you get that year's grace.
It just seems to be, and I think it's the first time that quite a few of us have done it. Normally you get one or two, and it's quite. I think it's quite tough to get into, sort of thing. It's not a case of you wanting to go and play for a certain club. I think you have to pretty much be approached to go and play. So in that regard, it's quite nice to have a club, especially like around your road, who's pretty prestigious and been around. And you've been to the club and seen what it's like. So. And obviously with having ropes there, it makes it a wee bit easier having someone who speaks sort of the same language.
You're in accommodation by yourself? What's that like?
Well, probably for most who know me, it's actually fucking brilliant. I love it. To be fair, I'm not really in that much in evenings because with the way our schedule is and coaching then youngsters, I don't find myself sitting in the house too often. And then for most of it I'm either round the ropes is for coffee or for dinner.
Wait, what is the schedule?
For us it is, so I coach on a Monday night, and then Tuesday we have double club session, Wednesday we have gym, Thursday's double club session, and then Friday's club session, and then day off Saturday, club game on Sunday. So we have basically 5 sessions a week, and then game on the weekend.
You say double club session, is that one in the morning, one in the evening, or what's this?
It's one afternoon, and then there's a break where we get lunch, and there's team meetings, stuff like that, and then we have a heavier session basically in the evening time.
Because you were saying to me, a lot of people, I didn't know this, but the Dutch players, they're pretty much, the club runs them. They don't.
Yeah, so it's like the complete opposite of like what GB do. It's like everything is geared towards like essentially all your money comes from GB, and the clubs then subsidise. If you want to go and play for a club, then you can go and play for a club and obviously then GB have all the say. Essentially, I say all the say. They probably don't, but it sort of worked more in that regard. And then whenever you go to Netherlands, it's like complete opposite. The clubs have all control of what everyone does. Like the Dutch, I think, association have to send a planner towards clubs. They decide when things are going to happen because that's where their salary basically comes from. They don't get too much from the.
So say somebody has a wee niggle. Orange Root are just going to be like, no, they're not going to the Dutch.
No, it's funny because like we had to, because speaking to ropes, because when we finished the first half, we were like, geez, we've got such a long break here before we have to, because obviously we finished November 14th, the first half of the season, and the second season doesn't start until 6th of March. Yeah. Which is like 4 months or whatever. So we were like, can we go home? Yeah. And they were like, you can go home, but you have to sign a contract with us to say you're going to go and train and play, essentially, if you wanted to. Because obviously, if I wanted to come back and play a bit for the club, I could. but it was a wee bit like they weren't too happy of us coming playing, not necessarily playing for a different club, but like if we got hurt, because everything is so strict and like contracts are like every player has a contract regardless of age or what standard they play to. Everyone has it, so we've had to sign a contract to play at home to say if anything happens, then you can basically lose all your money.
So. And do they send you like a training program home and all that? And
no, that's I suppose that's more done from GB essentially. So we don't.
You still working?
Yeah, we're still working away with that.
And is it like this contract? Is it like like footballers? You can't ice skate. You can't go skiing.
Pretty much exactly. Although some of the boys do go skiing, so that's definitely not in it.
But to tell you just not to be an idiot?
Yeah, it's pretty much don't be an idiot. It doesn't work for us anyway because with the GB stuff and the contract we have there, we're not allowed to ski anyway.
Oh, you're not?
Or snowboard or do anything. So it's like, So I'm actually quite jealous for those. There's a couple of guys actually away this week skiing, so but yeah, that's something I'd like to do.
A few pictures. So we'll fire these up as on the screen for the other ones. But this is the pitch.
That's the pitch.
That's some setup.
It is it's pretty nice. It is. Well, you've been in, a lot of the boys have been for the AHL and they know what it's like. It's and I've played there a couple of times before I actually joined, and I haven't lost actually too many games there, which has been really good. Like GB played the Dutch in the Pro League and we beat them there. So like that pitch is, I don't know what carpet it is. It's phenomenal, and it's one of the the stadium actually is pretty good whenever you get a full capacity or whatever. So
and many pitches around that are.
Good question. I think there's at least 8. There's 2 or 3 behind that one, and then there's 3 beside it, and then there's one literally round like the adjacent to the other side of the clubhouse.
And how many teams would the club have?
30 maybe.
No way.
Yeah, it's funny because you would go down at any point of the day,
and there'll be somebody on
most pitches will be full, regardless of it's crazy, and especially at night time you basically not get a pitch session.
But is this their main sport, or is this
I think that's the biggest thing take away from like being anywhere else, so being over here and being in England, like a lot of kids do like a range of sports. So many people over here obviously play rugby and hockey and football, and it's just like, so you never really get you never really see the true potential of someone because they're playing loads of sports, which is it's great in a way. But with the Dutch, like they don't do any school hockey or whatever.
It's all just club.
It's all club. So essentially, whenever they finish school, they basically come and train 3 or 4 days a week at the club. So you can see why the rate of progression over there is so much quicker.
And that shows in the Dutch national team. Shows through club hockey.
Because they don't play any other sport. It's just that's all they do essentially.
And then what's this setup? I love this.
This is quite. I think this is new. So this is like a small mini pitch, which I think is about 30 yards or 40 yards maybe by whatever 20, and with like small goals, and that's normally just ran with kids basically at the weekend.
See, that's so good.
Which is good. Which would be, I've always said the bit at the nursery.
Yeah, I don't
the primary school. Obviously, if we could ask.
Yeah.
Who's there? Is Mitchie there? I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like somewhere like that would be unbelievable. So it would.
But see, we'll go on and talk about it later. But the Interpros recently, and half time, you seen the amount of kids coming onto the pitch and stuff, and I'm like, that's class.
That's the way it used to be when we were younger.
It was brilliant. It was class. I remember speaking to you at the very start when you first moved about the changing room setup.
Yeah.
So explain this. So this.
Yeah.
First changing room only.
First team changing room only,
and then.
And obviously no one else is allowed in it. So the girls hair in one, the boys hair in one, and then the girls, which is the dames. Like the change rooms are opposite each other. No one else can go into it, so they're all keypadded. And then
you have your own.
In it, you have basically your own setup, and you can basically deck it out. There's pretty much my stuff. So like it's funny because they play. You can see there's like cardboard, these boxes essentially. So they play games before we warm up, and one of the losers had to buy every single person one of these boxes so they could put shoes in it, or whatever. So, but like it's something that actually we don't even have at GB, which is like our own facility, our own changing room to be able to keep stuff on. So it's like a real
you just rock up, pair of jeans, trainers, kits there, all ready to go.
And I think like it's been that's what's been so impressive about the whole thing is like the first couple of days was just like, you mean we don't have to go home and wash our own kit? It's actually laid, it's clean for us, so then it's laid out for the next. So you treat it a bit more.
Yeah, that's a good setup.
A footballer, which at times can be a wee bit. Yeah, sometimes not up my street, but it's nice to get done.
you said there about having to buy the box and stuff. What is it? Is it on the Friday night? The two teams play the losers.
So so we have every Friday night is competitive. So it's like it ends up being 7v7, and the losers, because we have dinner pretty much after every training session. But the Friday night is like the main one where you have. We train, I think, 3 to 5, and then we have a team meeting which is based on the weekend, so it's like all tactical and a lot of video about the weekend, who we're playing, etc., and what we're going to do. And then we have dinner together on Friday night, and then people stay for a couple of beers and then pretty much go home. But the loser has to wash the dishes.
I love that. It's no more picking up the balls. It's
so both teams have to pick up the balls, but it gets so heated because you can there's a couple of people, and I've been I'm maybe 2-7 or 2-8. I've barely really won. Like any games of it.
Is it the same teams every week, or does
no? They change it. But there's a couple of us, like Joop de Mol, he's the ginger guy. He's quite tall. He plays at the back for the Dutch. Like he basically said to me at the start, and he's like, I do not win on Friday nights. Like, do not win. So I've been paired with him a good couple of times, and obviously I've never won, enough of him. But
is that a normal thing? Because we, coming from here, we always trained hard Monday night. It was more short corners and all on the Thursday night, bit more tactical stuff.
Yeah.
But to use, it seems like it's all out on the Friday night before the game on the Sunday.
Yeah, I think it's like a common theme with all clubs over there. It's I'm trying to think. Tuesdays are pretty good. Normally because we have double sessions, the first one isn't too heavy, so it's like quite technical. A lot of shooting, a lot of receiving, stuff like that. And then the second one is fairly hard, and it's a lot of gameplay or just a bit more running. Thursday's the exact same. And then Friday, most of it is like built towards the weekend, so there's a bit more like structure based in it. And then it's boom into 7v7 where people can try and win games essentially. So it's almost like their whole assumption, and it grinds my gears a wee bit, is like you have to play well on Friday night to play well on Sunday, and I'm like, that just doesn't it doesn't work. That's not the way it works. But like some people have it in their head, it's just like we have to train really well on Friday so that we play well and
follow through to the Sunday.
And so obviously like boys take it so seriously or whatever, so but it's the quality of training is like and then close to standard of international, really.
We'll look at these couple of video clips, but I remember you ringing me at the start where for GB you do the line, all that there. Did they say to you at the start, right, you're doing the line, or
it was what do you do,
right,
essentially? And I was like, I stick stop at PCA and I do the post at PCD, and pretty much eyes lit up because they didn't have a postman the year before. And it's funny because like I had rocked up with like a big like PCD bag basically, because we had stuff for GB, so I'd bought all gloves and like massive shin guards, which basically like ice hockey shin guards, and box and helmet and stuff like this here. And the first day, which was the Tuesday that I rocked up, there was PCD line post stuff, but it was no runner and it was no keeper and it was a normal kookaburra ball.
So you've explained this to me.
Yeah.
Tell the ones your lesson. What do you mean? Like, what did you used to do?
So majority of the time at GB it would be either mini balls or you have a runner which would run, so it gives you a wee bit more like confidence that you're not going to get hit, or like they've designed these like half weighted of a normal ball essentially now, so they're a wee bit harder, but they're still not gonna break your foot essentially. And so the first day was like, oh, like I'm in trouble here.
So the guy just from
the top, and he is winging it all over the place. There's no because there's a wee bit of like the GB was like, okay, like let me know if you're going to try and aim for the top corners, so I have a bit of a
idea to try.
On this pitch, because it's so like the pitch it's so quick, it's rapid, like
any skip at all,
and that thing is coming fairly quickly, at your head. So it was like a welcome introduction, and to be fair, it stood me in good stead because
what do you see?
It's helped over the course.
Is it this one?
There's a couple I've been very lucky at, but
so
which one? Oh yeah,
it comes.
That was away at Rotterdam, I think.
So this
was, we were 4-3 up with a minute to go, and they had this, and I just managed to pick it onto the post, and then almost obviously lose my head because the guy.
So is that onto the post?
That is literally stick onto post. So again, but lucky.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was a nice win.
This is the one. Where are we at? Yeah, this is the one that gives me shivers.
Oh yeah, Bloomingdale.
So, like every time I watch this, I'm like, how do you not take a step to your left here?
Yeah, and again, that's probably helped because I've been doing it uncontested, really. But that's quite a scary moment. So it is, because you've got no one in your way. Essentially, I don't know how I tipped that. That's a lot of luck. But
it's even holding your ground there. That's I'm going to the left, like, because that's where I was actually speaking to Les about the other night. I was saying about short corner boys in the post. I was like, you want Slim, Timmy Smith, or G Tom? I was like, G Tom, the eye in his head. He just picks it. It's so good. But you've been doing it for GB for.
And it's been quite a few. I've been lucky because Baz, before he retired, Baz is one of the best I've ever seen. Yeah. So you're learning quite well off him. Wardy's exceptional because he played cricket, and then obviously like getting hit in the head, he hasn't done it that much. So then obviously I stepped up, and Tom Sowersby, the young guy who's come in, he's like, I think he's better than probably any of us apart from like Baz is a standout, but Sowers is probably one of the best. He's like literally incredible with it. Just picks everything, like everything. He doesn't move, so he's got his hand-eye is superb.
And what's the plan with GB then?
Staying on for a bit, yeah. It's been, well, I think I've probably spoken enough about trying to retire and finish, and like the last couple of years I've said to you, I don't know how many times, I've just been like, right, that's me. As soon as we get to Tokyo, after the World Cup in 2018,
you kept saying Tokyo, and then
so at first, like after the World Cup in 2018, after I had a few injuries, I was like, okay, I'm happy enough now. I'm done. I've done pretty much everything that I wanted to go to. I'm done. And then I just kept going on and just enjoying it. And then obviously you then get a year of cancellation because of COVID. Yeah. So it's like, oh, we have to go again here for another year, and that I really want to.
You've went out for it.
I really want to do, and obviously then it's like, okay, might as well go for it. And then I have solidly for the last year been like, that is me. I'm done, and I'm going to go and play club hockey, and I'm going to go in that. And I knew as soon as I finished that last game, I was like, I don't know if I can leave it, essentially. So, and it's funny because I spoke to Cleggy, who obviously finished, and I spoke to AB, and obviously AB's been retired for a long time now, and said to me, listen, like if you feel like you can give value and you feel like you're still playing at that level, why would you, there's too many years past retirement that you wish you probably were still playing. Like you see Andy playing up there for the seconds with you and the boys. So that was sort of like a real, okay, we're going to carry on. So obviously the Commonwealth Games are next summer. I never went to Commonwealth Games in 2018 because I got injured, so I'd like to do that. And then you're only 2 years away from Paris, but I literally don't know.
But if you're in the hunt for Paris and all that, you push on, try and get that third Olympics.
Yeah. I would love to. Yeah.
But why would you want to retire? I can see injuries, but now you're
I know
feeling good, doing well.
I don't know if I just need to. Like I've been playing since 2008.
Yes,
which is a long. I know obviously I had 3 years out with the change, but it's been a long.
And you're still playing a lot.
Just playing at the top. So there's a part of me that wants to develop other things and go into coaching or whatever, and sort of like, is my time done? But I think going away has definitely helped. I think if I didn't go away and play abroad this season, I would have 100% retired. Like I know for a fact I would have been scundered. I just would have been like
same setup, same.
And I think it's actually going away and being like, this is actually unbelievable. The level still playing, and I'm still able to contribute really well. And the guys want me hopefully to come for a second season, which might or might not happen. But and that sort of helped. Like might as well stay on.
And when? So what's the crack now? When do you meet up with GB, or when?
We meet up actually in a few days. So 4th of Jan we have a meeting together, and then we head to Spain on I think it's the 12th or 13th for basically a 2-week camp. So we've had a lot of trialists coming, because obviously we've had retirements as it usually does. So there's like 14 new guys who are coming to this trip in Spain to play 5 games.
Oh, nice.
So it'd be nice to see some.
But that'll be good. All the new guys coming in, a bit of a change.
And that always helps.
So then, what's this year for GB? What's on this year then?
Pro League starts in February, so there's a number of games of that. Yeah. And then Commonwealth Games in the summer is pretty much that's it. And then the World Cup's in January 2023. So
where's that at?
That's back in India again. So the joys.
You'll miss that one you'll just.
Yeah, I know. So there's not a huge amount on this summer. Obviously the Commonwealth Games are big. Yeah, and I think it's even bigger because they're in Birmingham. Yeah, so like
I know a lot of ones from the club have actually got tickets and all heading
over. So for the English guys, it's so good for them. There's a couple of guys who are born in Birmingham, so like for them it's like real.
That'd be
nice
good.
To be playing at home.
You said about developing new things, the DA5 coaching going well.
Coaching. It's to be fair, like I think a lot of the boys have been like, you should just get a logo essentially, because you obviously anytime I come home I want to try and do a bit of coaching for any of the juniors up at the green, or just invest time in who wants it sort of thing. So like finally got myself a logo from company close by around the corner, which has like been great, and it's something I want to try and obviously develop, and obviously trying to give back. I think a lot of people say give back, but I'm just more like, I'm really interested to see how kids in Ulster essentially do. Well,
anytime you do it here, Cookstown's always, you get a lot there. Where else have you been down?
Down Coleraine, with Stevie McCartney, obviously. The man is Mr. Hockey and Mr. Sport in general. So like that one was really good with the girls. Was that Wednesday? So Cookstown on Tuesday, Coleraine on Wednesday, and then I've got the Rainy girls tomorrow at Meadowbank, which would be, and obviously quite a school that's doing pretty well at the minute as well. So it's on my radar to try and make sure it branches out, and I would like to get a bit more further afield and have a bit more, not clients, but just being able to push everything. Cookstown's always going to be my home base for whatever I do, but I would like to make sure that you support as many
get out there and coach,
essentially.
But you say about kids and Ulster development, you were up recently watching the Interpros. First time Cookstown, great to see.
Unbelievable. It's it's been a long time coming when you think about it, like a club of our stature that hasn't held an It's funny because I think it was the Ulster president who was down giving a speech, and she was like, this is my first time in Cookstown, it's my first time in the club. I'm like, there we are.
Like, I'm down to the clubhouse and look around you.
I didn't know this was here, and you're like, okay.
It's
funny because also whenever we were standing, I can't remember who was up, but like one of the ladies walked past, like, and she was, I think it was a parent. She's like, God, it's a long way from Belfast. I'm like, girl, you have no idea, like, how many times, like 90% of the stuff that we go to, cups,
everything,
Anderson cups,
anything,
McCulloch's, Bernie's, it doesn't matter. We're going on the M1. So
we're traveling.
It was nice to see it, and obviously it's nice to have like Cuddy, like as in Stevie coaching. It's nice to have more Cuddy playing in the 18s.
Max, Ewan,
and Ewan as well. Ewan scored a lovely drag. And so it was brilliant to see, and nice to see some of the juniors and because
that went away for a while. The young ones coming up. There's a few years there of the gap were representing and stuff like that. It's great to see it come back, and you can even see the work Cuddy's putting in. Cookie with the juniors,
with the minis.
Like anytime you go up before training, it's packed. They're all doing the skills. There's a pile of keepers. It's brilliant. So it's something that you can see is going to develop in the future with the club. So it's brilliant to see.
You're right.
But you're home. You have a winter break. Is that something Ulster hockey should be doing?
I suppose it probably. I think so. Yeah. If you look at any European countries, everyone has at least a bit of a break. It's funny because we've always looked forward to Boxing Day and a Kirk Cup final.
I love that.
But then if you look at,
but then again, you come January and February
and you're straight into it.
Games are cancelled. Then you come towards the end of the season, you're playing 3 games a week to catch up.
I guess. I think a break of some sort would do. When I look at like how much the schoolboys play. Especially whenever you're representing like Ulster under 18s and going to Irish trials and playing for school, playing for club, and then trying to play Interpros as well. It's like that's a lot. I actually think probably this last 2 weeks of Kirk getting cancelled has probably helped club as well, just to get our players more so just to get a bit of a break, because I think the season or the league starts back again on the 8th of Jan.
We're back in whatever. Straight away,
if you think about it, like people could have been playing yesterday, 27th, and then Kirk Cup final was on the first, and then straight. So they wouldn't they literally wouldn't have a break.
You just keep going.
I think there's probably a wee bit of like thought needs to go into can these boys get at least a couple, and girls, can they get a couple of weeks off? Because obviously they've got the indoor going on. They develop a bit more time with the indoor and try and revamp that a wee bit. Like you could see it, like they sold that place out in Antrim for them in like 10 minutes. So
there's a need for it. So maybe it will come in. We don't know.
We can see.
But we'll wrap her up, and I think there's a few from the club going to try and organise a trip to get over anyway. For a few games. I think Hexy's talking about the school maybe going over.
Interesting getting the school over,
so that's always good to see. One's coming over from the club. Even when you're playing GB, then with the ones that want to travel over. It's always great to see that there, and you can see that you really enjoy seeing the ones over. just acting the idiots pretty much. So hopefully we'll all get a trip over soon, and that'll do. So cheers.
Thank you.